So we've been out having a bit of fun at the racetrack, and unfortunately we've suffered some engine damage and we've ran the main bearings of the old 202 out of the Tirana. Whilst it's apart, we're going to sort out those oiling issues, but we're also going to look at ways to increase the power, camshaft, cylinder head, compression, all the usual things. But we're also going to look at the carburetors and ways we can optimise their flow. So up until now we've been running 45 DCOEs with 40mm Venturi. What we're going to do is keep the same size Venturi, but we're going to jump up to a 48 DCO SP. Now, we're not going to expect to see any significant power advantages of using a 48 with the 40mm Venturi. However, our torque, particularly our mid-range, we're expecting to see some increases. That's going to be through airspeed. Now, if we have a look at the Venturi on a 45, we'll see there is very little taper on that 40mm Venturi. On a 48, however, obviously being a lot wider, shares the same part as a 50 in fact, there is a lot more taper on that Venturi. So we're going to see an increased Venturi effect, so therefore higher airspeed, which should equate to more mid-range torque. Obviously we'll have to wait until it gets on the dyno for that, but that's where we're heading anyway. So we'll have a quick look now at the two different carburetors on the bench and we'll look at some of the differences. So here we're looking at a 45 DCOE Weber, and on the right is a 48 DCO SP Weber carburetor. Now if we have a look at the 48, the most obvious thing is that there is absolutely no cold start mechanism. It's blanked off. Being a purely a race carburetor, there's no need for it. It also helps eliminate the accidental richening of mixtures through leakage through the cold start circuit. The 45 DCOE does have a cold start mechanism, and it's situated on the rear here. All the associated componentry is located underneath the top cover in this area. Now the second thing we'll look at is the throttle plate size, and that's actually how we name the carburetors and can identify them. So a 45 DCOE has got 45mm throttle plates, and the 48 DCO SP has got 48mm throttle plates. Something else that's slightly different between the two is the fact that the current production 45 DCOEs have actually got air bypass bleeds fitted on the sides of the barrels. They're connected into the pump circuits. These are not on the 48 DCO SPs. Something else to take into consideration as well, and that's particularly those who are upgrading from 45s to 48s, is the linkages are slightly different. On a 45 we can see that we have both the idle speed screw here, but there's also a fitting here, a boss that can be screwed into. This can't be seen on the 48. We only have the furthest one and only on the one side. It's actually not on both sides. So we need to make sure that our linkages are set up appropriately for either carburetor. All the other components are actually exactly the same in the carburetors, so emulsion tubes, main jets, idle jets, pump jets, and they're all located in exactly the same positions. The only different calibrated parts are obviously the Venturi, which we were looking at before. And just for one more time, there's a 40mm Venturi out of a 48, and there's a 40mm Venturi out of a 45. Now we can really see here the difference in the material and the taper on those. So as we were discussing earlier, we would expect to see a little bit more airspeed on this design rather than this one.